What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and I am so excited. This is one of my favorite events. You know, we've been doing this show now for 6 years, and there's certain festivals and conferences that we collaborate with every year. And possibly my favorite is the Illuminate Film Festival. And we've always enjoyed our collaborations with them. And tonight we are going to discover the winners of their micro short festival competition. We're going to meet 5 of the filmmakers. We're going to actually watch the shorts that they made that have won the awards. And it's going to be a really, really fun show. And then a little bit later on, after that, we have Swami Byandananda visiting us. We have Lori Grace providing some wonderful things. And our dear Kati Jay is going to lead us in a meditation. So we have a lot planned for this evening. And most of all, our beloved house musical artist, Omashar, is with us to present not 1, not 2, but 3 wonderful musical offerings, starting with one right now. So let's move and groove to Omashar's music.
Yeah, this is maybe not a move and groover one, but it is one that I wrote specifically for this festival in retrospect about a decade ago. So let's get jiggy with it, get some movement happening, pick up the flute, and we're off. Illuminate yourself with the waves of love passing through. Think not anything. You're the one you're waiting for. We have now received all the blessings of all time. Come and celebrate what we've all become. Life is you, love is you. Be all that you are. no need to hesitate. Open hearts can walk right through. There is no door or gate that could hold your love at bay. We encourage you to hold only to what is true. Your life is yours to make. All your wildest dreams come true. Life is you, love is you. Be all that you are. Show the world you are true, and all the earth will rise and answer you. Life is you, love is you. Be all that you are. Show the world you are true, and all the earth will rise and answer you.
Mm, beautiful. I'm going to go to gallery view and let's all send love and twinkles Omashar's way.
Thank you so much.
Such a beautiful song, Omashar. And you're right. That's perfect lead in for tonight's show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm really grateful for the two women I'm about to introduce you to because they're just gems. And they're so committed to an awakening world, both doing it for a long, long time in their own ways. First off, Jeanette Wolpert, who she's had many different titles, but I'm just going to say she's been the creatrix, the executive director, the high priestess, and the hardest worker of the Illuminate Film Festival. And so it's great to have Jeanette back with us again. And then Olivia Hanson, who does such wonderful work. We're going to learn a little bit about her Spiritual Life television network and the incredible things that she's done and promoted and supported, including even working with the Dalai Lama. So these are two powerful women. And tell us, for people who are not familiar with your work, please share with us a little bit about what you both are doing and how we got here to this evening.
Well, thanks, Scott, and thanks for inviting us to be on your show tonight. We're always enthused to be working with the Global Peace Tribe and honor everything that you do, Scott, as well, to bring people together and bring us into unity. So we're really at an exciting time at the Illuminate Film Festival, and it's partly because Olivia tapped me on the shoulder and said, I have an idea for you. And this was in advance of actually last year's Illuminate Film Festival, which was our, I think, 12th annual film festival, where we showcase and premiere what we think are the top conscious films of the year. And that's narrative films, it's documentary films, and it's short films. And when Olivia tapped me on the shoulder, she had an idea to do a short film contest around the theme of oneness of humanity. And that is, a topic and an initiative that is near and dear to her heart because she does quite a lot of work um, for the oneness of humanity. And I'm going to actually let you, Olivia, talk about your Oneness of Humanity initiative.
Thank you, Danette. And it's a joy to be here with you all. And it's a joy to be here with you, Danette, sharing about the film contest. But I'll tell you something. I had looked out at the world like so many of you and was just so discouraged about how we were treating one another, the violence, the unkindness, and so forth. And it was like, well, what can we do about this? And I knew we were all connected. I just always had that felt sense. And I mean, we get this idea too from the idea of the golden rule, love thy neighbor as thyself and so forth. But we weren't doing a very good job living it, I think we can all say. So I wanted to do something to help promote this idea, advance the idea of oneness, and remind us of who we were. So initially, I started off with this idea of oneness. What does it mean? It's can be kind of a vague word. And I thought, well, we need role models to show us how what oneness is about, and people that are living this. And so I came up with the idea of the Oneness of Humanity award, and as a role model of oneness. And first selected the Dalai Lama. I thought, let's start high, let's start big, and presented him the first Oneness of Humanity Award. Went to Dharamsala, India, and he is somebody I've worked with before. He's amazing, and we know how he talks about kindness, oneness, compassion, and he says we're all the same, and this is what he really believes. He knows we're all one. So he was the first Oneness of Humanity award winner, and Scott had him on his show. We had a Oneness of Humanity award show that Scott did, and it was wonderful. It was delightful. So Scott showing some uh, uh, different videos that are featured on my Oneness of Humanity or my Spiritual Life TV channel, where the motto is the oneness of humanity. So that was one of the things. Let's have an example of oneness, and through the Oneness of Humanity Award, and the Dalai Lama was the first one, and pretty outstanding. The second thing we were thinking about was, let's spread this idea. And how about a global, United Nations Global Oneness Day, where this day could be celebrated around the world? And that's something that I'm working on with a number of wonderful people in the United Nations. And I'm a representative of World Goodwill to the United Nations. Maybe there'll be time, I'll tell you more about that. But the third thing was, let's take this idea to the people, and make it inviting and engaging and fun. And so I was thinking, how can we do that, so that it's not just some ponderous, we're going to teach or preach or something like that. We want to show all the ways that oneness can be expressed. And it occurred to me, the idea just kind of dropped in. Well, a little micro short film that people could they tell a story in 90 seconds? That was the question. I wasn't sure. But the idea of doing that and maybe having a contest for this idea so that we would get a lot of interest and so forth, put up some prize money. So we did that, $25,000 in prizes, and went forward with that idea. And I knew Danette and her wonderful Illuminate Film Festival. So I talked to Danette about this idea. She loved it. And she took the idea and ran with it and came up with this wonderful contest. So Danette, I'll turn it back over to you. You can tell more about it.
Thanks, Olivia. Well, let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to actually share some slides so you can follow along. So, the Micro Shorts contest was, like Olivia said, a challenge to the world's creators. digital creators, filmmakers. We were even inviting the use of AI, or rather partnership of AI, and invited everybody, like Olivia said, to bring people together through the oneness of humanity in 90 seconds or less. And we had a few different stages to the competition. We first selected our semifinalists, and you can see here, I'm gonna advance here. You can see that we started out with nearly 700 submissions from over 67 countries, which was pretty incredible because, we've had this festival for almost 14 years, and we have never seen so much diversity in terms of where film submissions are coming from. And even from African countries, many Asian countries, all over Europe, South America, Central America. So it was really exciting to see what everybody had to say about oneness of humanity. And we narrowed it down from the 700 down to 47 semifinalists. And I will take a minute to recognize those 47 semifinalists. But what then the 47 semifinalists were invited to do was engage in a big audience voting process. So for 2 weeks, we, showed these films to the world, and they voted for their favorites. And over those 2 weeks, thanks to actually the filmmakers and them spreading oneness through their own networks, we collectively got 80,000 votes from all over the world, which was an accomplishment in so many ways because the filmmakers' work was supported and really got out there. And obviously, we were really spreading the message that we value so much. So that included very active, a ballot process. People liked and commented and viewed, and it essentially got nearly 500,000 people involved in some way. So here are the semifinalists, and I just wanted to see, are there semifinalists in the room tonight? I would love to see your names in the chat. Just say, I'm here, and then just let us know which film you're representing. I'd like to give all of our semifinalists a huge round of applause. If we
Jeanette,
could do
you know
that.
what I'd suggest is if you are a semifinalist and you're in the room with us, raise your your hand. If you take a look on your computer screen, you all have the ability to raise your hand like that. And when you raise your hand like that, then you go right to the front, and that way I'll be able to notice you and bring you on board. Can we do it that way, Jeanette?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I'm going to bring on, now, of course, some of these are people we're going to meet a little bit later, but here are our filmmakers that are in the room with us tonight. There we go.
I see Sequoia's here. I saw Jorit here.
Sequoia, you need to turn your camera on so that I can bring you up. So we need your camera to be on. But congratulations.
Jorit, turn your camera on. Let's recognize you.
There we
Get all
go.
the filmmakers up here. Get a big congratulations. Oh, and we've got a little one.
A friend.
Oh, wonderful.
Beautiful. Well, I want to, and there's a few more. There's Jorid. Okay. This was just very few of the many filmmakers who really did an extraordinary job with their People's Choice campaign and getting these wonderful shorts out into the world. So thank you, semifinalists.
Oh, here's one more. All right,
One more.
All right, there they all are. In fact, I'm going to do a screenshot real quickly, so that we've got. There we go. There's a nice screenshot of everybody. And hang on one second. I'll give you all a chance to smile. 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all. So I want to tell everybody a little bit about what happened next. So after we acknowledged all of our semifinalists and we had a very extraordinary global People's Choice campaign, we then moved into the next part of our competition. And part of the competition involves jury voting, which is a typical film festival component where you get established veteran folks from the film industry to start narrowing down who will ultimately win the contest and win the $25,000 in prizes. So I just want to quickly refer to our three-member jury. We had Maggie Doyne, who is a humanitarian and the CNN Hero of the Year back in 2015. She runs an orphanage and several other nonprofit businesses out in Nepal. Then we had Nicole Guillemets, and Nicole Guillemets was actually the director of Sundance, co-director of Sundance, for many, many years. And she was also the vice president of the Sundance Institute. She's currently programming for a number of film festivals all over the world. And finally, Robert Colom Vargas, who is a co-writer and producer. His very first feature film, called Mountains, premiered at the Toronto Film Festival, then went on to Tribeca. His work's been at the Berlinale, Independent Spirit Awards, and he's done some deals with HBO and PBS and Mubi and etc. So, okay, are we ready? Are we ready for the awards reveal? Yes, okay. All right, so I want to announce now that from our 47 finalists, 15 finalists and one People's Choice Award are to be revealed now. So drum roll, please. All right, our first finalist, 1-800-LOVE-YOU by Daniel Maggio and Lauren Lingenfelter. At the Foothills of Life, directed by Adam Schomer. The Cookie Man, directed by Jorrit van der Kooi. Deep Yearning, directed by Dustin Jones. Dream Feed, directed by Graham Walzer. Kindred Spirits, directed by Ella Faye Donnelly. One Beat, directed by Mingdi Lee. Recharged, directed by Andy Duong. Recycle for Life, directed by Michael Indigen. Soil Song, directed by Rachel Kolar-McCord. Somewhere in Between, directed by Maya Hawkins-Litvin. Stitching Hearts, directed by Jungmin Hong. The Seeds We Inherit, directed by Hari Kapoor. To Have Ever Been, directed by Sequoia Riggs. And finally, Walk of Generations, directed by Delaney Mann. So before we just move on to this very final, can we actually give everybody a big round of applause for our 15 exciting finalists, some of which you will get to see momentarily. You'll get to see these little pieces of creative genius. All right. Thank you. I love this whole Zoom, clapping feature. They really they really contributed to Oneness of Humanity when they added that feature to Zoom. All right. So let's go to, well, why don't we wait for the People's Choice winner? Because I believe our winner is actually getting off of a plane. So why don't we, Scott, jump right into showing our finalists.
Okay, and I believe the first film is Adam's. And what's the name of Adam's film?
At the Foothills of Life.
All right. So welcome, Adam. And we're going to play your film. And what we're going to do is after watching each film, we're going to have a little chat with with the filmmaker. So, and I will take a few questions from the audience. Also, just want to let people know that there will be a roundtable conversation with the filmmakers after we've watched all the films. But here we go. We're going to start with Adam's movie, um,
At the Foothills of Life.
At the Foothills of Life.
One of the great gifts to those who transition is to really live well and to love and to serve and to find joy and to live with deep compassion and gain inner unity. That's the great invitation. That's the only way to honor. Death is to live more intensely and more freely and not postpone joy, not postpone generosity, not postpone love. I always say, if you want to hate on someone, do it tomorrow. Life is water. That's why in the yogic tradition you put the ash in the Ganga, because it symbolizes eternity of life. You put the ash in the Ganga and it goes to the ocean. All life is on its way to the ocean. We are all moving in the direction of infinite. Just the form changes, the essence remains. Hey Ma Durga.
Wow, congratulations. Beautiful. I'm going to bring myself up. I'm also going to bring this is Lori Grace, my good friend, who's going to be watching the films with us today and speaking a little bit later on. So I'm going to bring up Danette and Olivia as well. Adam, what was your inspiration for this film? When did you have that moment, that epiphany of, I've got to make a movie on this topic? Tell us about that.
Yeah, this well, when I saw the category, I realized there was some footage and some moments in this greater series that we had just shot in September called The Wheels of Awakening. So this is a third in the trilogy of motorcycling through the Himalayas with a wise master and people going through challenges. So that started actually way back in Illuminate Film Festival. I showed the highest pass. So since 2010, that got me into docs, and this is the final of that trilogy. And then again, what we were editing, and I saw the category, and I thought, oh, that in episode 1, there's this beautiful time when we're honoring one of the men that had passed away, who was in the previous trip in the Road to Dharma doc series. So strangely, a lot of people that were on this trip didn't know him, but had seen him, through media, through these movies. You get really attached to characters, and it was somewhat odd to see so many people emotional about this man they only knew through the series, but he was such a relatable guy. And one of the women you see there was his former wife, and she was there giving his ashes into the Ganga. And so that's the full context of it all, and I just think it's beautiful to honor life even in death. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's such a timeless theme.
Yeah.
Danette, Olivia, anything you'd like to ask?
Well, I just wanted to jump in and clarify. I forgot to mention that this year's theme was called The Shiny New and Treasured Old for the contest. And so we challenged the filmmakers to embrace that theme in their film. And so you can see a lot of themes of birth, life, and death. You could see a lot of across the generation type messaging in the films. You can see shiny new, like robots and futuristic things, and kind of treasured old, which is some relics and things like that. And so, I think Adam chose this footage that he had because it really kind of represented the cycle of life, which is really what what was really embraced in this part of the contest. And I also want to say that Adam, I just realized recently that I think Adam is the most illuminated filmmaker in Illuminate history, meaning the most number of films from a single filmmaker that were showcased in the festival. Right, Adam?
It's possible. You would know better than I, but it's family, right? I've definitely been when I was in Sedona so many times, and it's become family. You really did an amazing job of making that happen. So many people became close because of the festival. Here, like people people in LA I wouldn't see except at the Sedona, at the film festival, Illuminate. My friends, we'd have to meet there because LA, no one leaves their little section. But
And so Adam, having the most films in the festival over these last 13 years has to be because you are called to conscious filmmaker. You are called to elevate consciousness through this vehicle, right, of the moving image. So what called you in the first place?
yeah, thankfully I started making docs after I was 30 years old, 30 something years old. So I had already established what was really important to me in my life in terms of seeking truth and knowing truth. So when docs came in, there was no way I was going to go just do some, crappy reality TV thing. I'm always going to give it my best, and I want to say something with it, and I want to say something that's important to me and also learn. So no matter what film we're doing, social issue, motorcycling, I'm looking for what do I want to say? What do I want to talk about? What do I think is important for the human spirit to empower people? Because come on, like if we're gonna use our voice and use our media, why not use it to inspire each other, not just entertain? I think I just read something about on social media about who was it, Socrates or Plato, that was saying like, he doesn't even think media and stories should ever be paid. He's like, then you're already compromising. You're already pandering to the audience rather than just going for the highest and finest of the truth through the story. And whether or not you know it or not, you're going to start pandering to the audience because you're getting paid. And I thought it was just really sweet and special, like a nice kick in the butt to keep doing great stuff.
I love that we showed your film first because your film was truly illuminating. So what a perfect illuminating film to be our first film that we show. And I think we need to move on, though, to our next film. And what's the next film and filmmaker, Danette?
All right, next we have One Beat by Ming-Di Lee.
You know what? I must confess, I voted for this one. This was one of the ones that I gave high marks to. I thought it was very unique. So I'm going to bring up the film, and we're going to bring up Ming-Di Lee. And we're looking for, where are you? There we go. Gotcha. Okay. And here's the film. I love that film. That's just, I got chills. Absolutely got chills.
Thank you.
And, I so appreciate the humanity of it, the way you just really are capturing one beat of humanity. So, same question. What was your inspiration for making this film?
Yeah. Firstly, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, my inspiration was I kind of just wanted to capture the essence of oneness and like visually through a film. And no, it's something that you experience or you understand conceptually, but like I feel like capturing it onto the screen, translating that experience can be difficult. But I tried to find a way to do that through this. So I was like just experimenting with and visualizing how I could do that through sound. And I think that like tying it visually and also through the audio of like just a single beat, something that's universally shared, it was something that I tried to bring into the film. And also how like kind of the monk at the end, just having that as, a beat of like silence and kind of having him there as kind of like a gateway to consciousness and how he was able to hold all those perspectives um, was part of, I guess, what I was thinking about portraying. So like all those elements together was what I was kind of trying to get at through expressing oneness through my film.
You succeeded wildly. I'm going to read some of the comments coming in from our audience. And audience members, please put comments in the chat box and I'll read them. Charlotte LeFranc writes, stunning, exclamation point. The pacing and editing is exceptional. So, so good. That shared heartbeat of humanity and Mother Gaia. Adora writes, wonderful. Reverend Jeffrey Colbrook writes, yes, I would vote for that one also. Wow. Carol Craig writes, well done. And a little bit earlier, Dorina Joy, coming all the way to Ecuador, by the way, writes, these great short movies. I've just watched the entire 44 films in the playlist. So thank you, Dorina Joy, for being one of the people really participating. Danette, Olivia, anything you'd like to ask Ming Di Lee?
Well, first of all, I wanted to ask you, Ming Di Lee, since it's dark there, where are you?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto right now. So
Okay.
yeah, it's like almost 10 p.m. but um still really great to be here. Really rainy today, but still always a good time. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that you know, there's a real kind of special feeling when you're watching a film that has no dialogue. It has no words, and that you can communicate something so profound without any words. And so I just felt that the use of imagery and sound, really did oftentimes what words can do, but even better. How did you choose to not actually include any dialogue?
Good question. I wanted to just have like the beat of the drums kind of like do the communicating and the talking instead of dialogue. I think that was what, yeah. I don't think it was like an intentional decision of like I can't have any dialogue, but I think I just wanted to have, the drumming be that sort of communication of that shared thread of oneness, mostly through audio and visually.
And you
Yeah.
included so many different cultures and cultural experiences. And
Mhm.
so where did you get the vision, right? And which cultures you decided to highlight in the film?
Yeah, so I just wanted to try to highlight as diverse as possible, like whether you're like homeless on the streets from anywhere or like from Africa or Asia or North America, that everyone is connected, everyone is one, and we're not like separate. And I wanted to kind of like, yeah, and at the end of like that montage, at the end, I just wanted to capture even more, perspectives of that oneness. Tried to get that theme as, as much as I could.
This is the
Yeah.
third time I've watched the film. And one of the things that stands out for me is that each particular form of drumming is equally wonderful. And when we get to the homeless guy, There's nothing, often we associate homeless as kind of sad and pathetic and less than, but his drumming was just as wonderful as the marching band or the orchestra. And that really was, I thought, a really beautiful moment in the video.
Thank
I
you. Thank you very
agree.
much.
I agree. And what I love was the universal approaches to drumming and all the cultures and faces and kinds that you showed of this. So it really did express that oneness idea so beautifully.
Thank you.
Um, We've got some more comments that have come in. Eleanor Joy writes, "The heartbeat is our very first experience of sound. What an excellent film." Tiara writes, "Yes, the juxtaposition of differing cultures was so powerful." Dia Therese writes, "Especially touching was the street person." Carol Craig writes, "It was the beat of drums that drew me in." Rachel Rose writes, "It shows how drums are the universal instrument that brings people around the world together." And then finally, Dia Therese writes, "Jaw-dropping, unique, and engaging. Mingdi, I love you." So you have a new lover there. And we do have a question, and then after this, we've got to move on to Andy. But Adora is asking if you are a drummer.
No, I'm not, but I got a lot of inspiration from a lot of like other drumming shorts and Whiplash as well, if anyone has seen that movie. But
Fantastic movie.
I think drumming, and also to the point of Eleanor of how the heartbeat is the very first experience of sound. That's not something I consciously thought about, but after like I think now that's why like drumming feels so visceral, and that also probably played into my decision why I decided to use drums.
We got one last question, actually. Did you do any traveling and film any of this, or was this all footage that you kind of, drew off the internet?
Yeah, this is actually just all like stock footage, and actually some of the footage was used with generative AI. So I actually didn't film any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful example of what somebody can create, a beautiful something from your very own home. Really awesome. Thank you, Ming Di Li. Ming Di Li and all the other filmmakers will be part of our roundtable. And I believe that next up is Andy. And
hello, everyone.
Hey, Andy. And Andy's film is called Recharged Illuminate. So let's take a look. Or Recharged for Illuminate. Got it.
Yes.
Maybe I'm not light.
Mm. Oh, now that's a tearjerker. And there's your daughter. I'm going to actually pin you so we can see everybody there. We're gonna go big on you. Oh, all we see is her eyes
Yes.
and a little nose. There we go. Well, congratulations, Andy. What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Margot. Say hi, Margot. Say hi.
The whole world's watching you, Margot.
Hi, Margot.
I love it.
Oh, wow. Well, of course, same question. What was your, of course, we see that it was dedicated to your father and daughter. Did you actually see a scene like that where you saw your father reading to her and that inspired you?
Yeah, I just want to start off with a quote from Martin Scorsese. The most personal is the most creative. And literally, I just turned to the right and saw my father, my little daughter on their phones. And I get it, screen time can be a part of life. And then I realized that when the battery died, I thought how that represents our electronics losing battery, but how about the aspect of life and life, and how can something be recharged as easy? And maybe, and when I came, I was, let's just say that I wasn't planning on having a child, and when she popped out, my dad just had this whole new life to him when she came to the world. And so I played that with electronics and batteries and came up with this concept premise.
Wow. Beautiful. I'm going to read, there's a lot of comments coming in from our audience. Charlotte LaFranc writes, that was so tender and lovely. The use of music and color and the colorations and the light at the end. So much love expressed in this sweet little film. Dora writes, I got teary. I loved it. Joanne Brem writes, a beautiful film. Susan Bloomquist writes, some of us can relate to that one. Zeke writes, thank you for acknowledging the use of AI. I think that was actually back for the earlier film. So just beautiful. And let me bring Danette and Olivia back on. See if they have anything they'd like to ask or share.
So I thought that was so clever because you were really focusing on the idea of energy, and not just energy in a battery or that keeps a device going, but honestly the universal energy, right? That gives us vitality. And so was that, I mean, it seems from your last comment that that was intentional.
Yes, very intentional. And I mean, the way I saw my dad light up every time I drop her off at their house, just really showed how much that connection matters more than anything to give life, to go from red to green.
And were you saying something about, kind of the digital economy, and then there's the analog economy, and then there's connection through both things, but maybe you're talking about the value of one particular kind of connection over another. Was that part of your vision?
Yeah, I don't know what's this zooming stuff. It's trying to be
Look at those devices taking over.
But that said, yeah, this was, I hand drew this at first and I used AI. I wanted to see if AI could, I'm an artist by trade. And so I wanted to see if how I could use the art to animate it in the way it did. And after about, I want to say 70 hours on that 1 minute, I figured it out and trained myself. And so I guess there's that meaning behind traditional and meeting the two of digital, and also with the idea that kids are not only the ones on their electronics, also older folks.
Very true.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job with the theme, the old, shiny, new, and treasured old, not only with the technology part, but then the age of the grandfather and daughter. It was just very, very charming and engaging. Great job.
Well, thank you, Andy, and we'll bring you back up when we have our roundtable discussion.
That's good.
All right, next, I believe, is Moira and Rachel and their film. So I'm going to bring them up for a moment. And here's their film,
Soil Song.
which is called Soil Song. Here we go.
Dust of those that have passed, the ones who created in ways that earth and stone. The dreams of those that can meet, the mothers and daughters who know what we know. Summon the hearts of those that can weave us all back together in joy and ash and summon the hands of those that can sow the seeds of tomorrow and help them to grow. Build her a home. Build her a home. Build her a home. Build her a home.
Wow, that was beautiful. Where did that take place? Where was that?
In Ojai, California, so Southern California, where we both reside, and the choir that we belong to. We've been working together for about 4 years now, 18 of us. And then another for Soil Song, we invited a number of different women in the community to participate. So there were probably about, I don't know, 20 or 30 of us or something, around 30 of us. Yeah.
Oh, and the harmony is so beautiful. I'm going to read some of the comments. They're flying in. Ming-Di Lee writes, amazing film, Rachel and Moira. I have to drop off, but thank you so much for having me. So I guess we're not going to see any more of Ming-Di Lee, but he's congratulating you on your film. Eleanor Joy writes, melting my heart. Charlotte writes, I loved this film. Soil to soil, essence of life, so powerful. Reverend Jeffrey writes, as an avid gardener, it went deep into my soul, my soil soul. Adam writes, amazing. DR writes, love the handbeat on the earth. Omashar just wrote, deeply moving, divine feminine power in motion. And Charlotte says, I agree. When I put my hands in dirt, I feel the bliss. So you're touching hearts in our Zoom room tonight.
Beautiful.
Same question. Tell us a little bit about kind of your inspiration for making this film.
Yeah, I think, touching upon the theme of oneness and its relationship to sound, I think sometimes in our pursuit of oneness, we can conflate or we can collapse what is very inherent to the human experience, which is differentiation. And what harmony shows us is that there can be a collective coherence while also holding differentiation. And I think this is what we were exploring through music, that peace is not really actually uniform, or certainly not observably. And that's also not what nature teaches us. There are so many different ways of growing and becoming. And when we're more symbiotic, which in the human voice is harmony, this is where we actually see more peace and equanimity. So really playing with, and also these women who belong to the choir have such different epistemologies, worldviews, belief systems. And the point is not to change that. It's actually to find a point where a place where all of them can coexist. So we were really playing with the harmonic teachings of oneness while holding differentiation.
Beautiful. Yeah, Rachel in our audience writes, that was so beautiful. I love the fact that there were women of all ages, and as you're now pointing out, of many different beliefs.
Definitely.
Yeah. Moira, we haven't heard from you yet. What was the most inspiring part of making this film for you?
I think that the actual act of that performance, we shot it all in one day, and leading up to it, we wrote that song together. And I think the actual act of creating that together, and maybe less so of actually making the film, all of the buildup that led to it, all of gathering these women from our community. And it was just a really special experience.
Have you all gathered and watched it together now?
Yeah, well, we are on a group chat, so we're in constant communication, and everyone is very congratulatory and excited. And it's a small town, so we see each other all the time. And yeah, it's been a beautiful experience.
We've watched it together with the choir, but not with all of the women that joined us.
All right, beautiful.
So who actually, or can you tell us about the process of developing the lyrics for that song? It really integrated so many pieces. Of course, the earth, of course, women, mothers and daughters, weaving together. It really was so thought out.
So those particular lyrics of the part that you're talking about was written. So we sort of gathered and in an emergent way sort of came up with different melodies and sounds and had various ideas. And then one of the women went home, and the next day she came back and said, I've got some lyrics. And that had come to her, and she's the one singing them. Her name is Jessie Campbell. So yeah, those were her words.
I have several friends in Ojai, so I'll privately message and ask if you know them. You must, because it is a small town.
Did I hear that the Ojai Playhouse wants to feature the film?
No.
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe.
I heard that.
I think you heard about a different Ojai film.
Trisha Fortina is writing, where can we view the entire film? I live in Ventura, 20 minutes away from Ojai.
We have a Vimeo link that we can share maybe somewhere for the longer 7-minute film.
Yeah, please put it into the chat box. And Beatrice just wrote, Rachel and Moira, there is a primal experience in your film that I enjoyed. Namaste. So, Olivia, anything you'd like to ask or add?
Beautiful music, beautiful harmony, variety of ages coming together and voices. Beautiful.
All right, ladies, we'll bring you back up in a few minutes. And I did notice that Justin has arrived.
Okay, well, let me just, I have to announce the winner.
Okay. So
Okay,
I'm
okay.
turning over to you to do the thing.
It's okay. We love doing things in any order. Okay, so here we go. All right, so we announced our 15 finalists, and now it's time to announce the People's Choice Award, which again is all about winning, or rather the engagements of during the award, the voting process, and allowing people all over the world to vote. So among our 80,000 votes, this one film got basically 20 of the 80,000 votes. So
I just want people to take that in for a moment. There were 80,000 votes from people watching. And I loved that so many of these films were from all over the world. So truly a global, and as a Global Peace Tribe person, I just want to acknowledge how wonderful that is. Please continue, Danette.
All right, well, I'm actually going to hand it over to Olivia to announce the winner of the People's Choice and $2,500 in cash. Go ahead, Olivia.
Thank you. I love this category because we have 3 wonderful judges that are well-versed in film and all of this, but I wanted to hear from the people, and this was such a brilliant idea to have a category, the People's Choice. And boy, did we hear from people. That was just a delight. We had so much participation, and Justin's, I need to announce who won. We keep giving away the winner, but the winner is Justin Gazillo, and the film is Wildcat. Yay! And Justin, you made it. Thank you so much. Boy, that was a great effort getting off of a plane and getting into.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to do a 6-hour plane flight. Came right onto the Zoom, so.
Well, welcome to the Awakening World. Congratulations, Justin. And we're going to play your film, and then we've got to, would love to chat with you for a moment. So here it is. We're going to actually watch the film, the People's Choice Award winner, Wildcat.
I'm thinking tonight of Dixie. That's where we first met, my dear. I recall the scene as yesterday, though it has been many a year. You were my sweetheart of the long ago. You're still my sweetheart, and I love you so. My Dixie sweetheart, girl of the long ago. I bless the day we met. My Dixie sweetheart, oh how I love you so. I never will forget. You've been all that I hoped you'd be. Through many, many years of toils and tears, you've been so true to me.
Wow, beautiful. Well, of course, I've got to ask, who is Richard Vandegraft, who it was dedicated to?
Yeah, Richard Vandergrift is my grandfather. Yeah, I dedicated this film to my wonderful grandfather.
And tell us, what was he a pilot in the war? What's his story?
So it was more of a concept rather than him being a pilot. So for a little background, my grandfather has been in a wheelchair for the past few years. He hasn't really been able to walk, and so many times my grandfather has told me, oh, sorry, it's raining here. So many times my grandfather has told me, I wish I could just get out of this chair. I wish I could walk to the other side of the room. I wish I could go for a walk with my grandchildren and take them out to dinner, lunch. And that really stuck with me because I moved away from New Jersey. I moved out to California, but in the back of my mind, those words just kept ringing in my ears. And I knew I had to make a film about it. It was so resonant with me that I wanted to make a film about an older gentleman reclaiming his youth and finding a respect with the other pilots who are, they may have more modern planes and they may have more advanced technology, but they all have the same love of flying. So there's a oneness in that shared love. So
Oh, well, I'm going to read some of the comments from the audience, and then we'll have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Charlotte writes, "What an absolute charmer of a film! Congratulations."
Thank you.
Susan Blomquist writes, "World War II Corsair, finest plane ever made." So there we've got someone who knows her planes. Susan writes, "Wildcat was the name of a band I was in many, many years ago." So that brought back a memory. And Rachel and Moira have put the Vimeo link in for the lengthier soil song. So thank you for that. That's great to have that. And tell us a little bit about the choice of the song, because that the song is such an incredibly important part of this movie.
Yeah. So we were making this film for our sophomore thesis. I was 19 when I made it. I was a wee little baby. And I was just trying to find songs that captured that bittersweet, I have this love, and even though, time has passed and time has progressed, and even though I look different, I still have that love on the inside. I may be wrinkled and I may be gray, but I still have it. And so the song was dedicated to that same that same love that I have, and I knew from the opening strumming of the chords that I was like, I have to use this. It's really, really amazing.
Rachel in the audience writes, that was so touching. I enjoyed everything about Wildcat. Your grandfather must be very proud of you. And what was it like for him to watch the film with you?
Yeah, it was kind of surreal. I remember I sat down and I showed him, and I sat next to his chair because he has like these two chairs that are right next to each other. And I sat down right next to him and I gave him the phone, and he kind of started to tear up after he was watching it because he had kind of seen the mental anguish that I was going through making this film. Animation, for anybody out there, it takes a really long time. It took me about 7 months to animate just that minute and a half. Every single frame, every second, every shot, every drawing was just dedicated to him. And even in the moments that I felt, can I finish this? Am I going to have enough time? Am I even good enough? I just had the mental image in my head of my grandfather kind of pushing me forward and telling me to keep going, So yeah, it was really, really an amazing moment to show it to him.
I love Dara's comment. Love the yodeling.
Yeah.
That's a great comment. I just want to give you a chance, Justin, to talk a little bit about your People's Choice campaign. It was really exciting, of course, on your part and on our part too, at the festival team watching from behind the scenes, looking at who was engaged by the film, who left the comments. They were talking about the kind of plane, they were talking about their military days, people were talking about it was a very, very diverse group of people that engaged with your film. Can you talk about that, Justin?
Yeah. So number one, it was really cool to see the outreach of everybody in the comments. All the aviation aficionados. I really did not. I knew that my film had a lot of plane elements in it, but I never would have thought that it would have reached those people of the internet in that little corner. And it was really cool because I there were people of all ages, people my age going up to people that were well into their 80s. Even, people were saying that they were flying these planes, and these planes haven't been used since World War II, which means these people are in, 90 years plus, which is really, really cool that this stupid 20-year-old kid made this film and it's reaching them. Yeah,
Talk about oneness. Yeah.
talk about oneness, right? Yeah, exactly. And in many ways, we are all the old man flying the plane, and we are also the modern day pilots that are, have respect for them, which is really cool. Yeah, and then outside of the algorithm pushing towards people who love planes, I did a lot of outreach on my social medias. I did a lot of pushing with friends, family, just sending the link out as much as possible, really just trying to push it out there. And yeah, I pushed it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, which was kind of funny to push it on there. But yeah, I had so much fun. I was treating it like a real competition. I was getting really day 3 of posting Wildcat for the Illuminate Film Festival. It was really fun to do, and I was really trying to bring an energy to it. So,
And
yeah.
you had a following earlier from a whole different line of work.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm a professional dancer, an actor. I've been doing that for years, and I had grown a following as a result of that. I have 300,000 followers on TikTok and stuff like that. Just from dancing, just from my stupid, silly little dances I did in my bedroom during COVID. Yeah. Um, um, oh, thank you for that wonderful comment, Rachel. That meant a lot to me. I'm reading that real quick. But yeah, and so I just pushed it everywhere, and I had a few of my friends post it, and I had a whole outreach kind of program just going into it just by myself, just on my phone. Every day, 10 a.m. post about the Illuminate Film Festival.
Well, that's dedication, Justin. And, the objective of our People's Choice, campaign was really to just get high frequency content out to as many people as we possibly could collectively, right? The filmmakers, the staff, Olivia, myself, our partners. And this was just especially significant because it reached such a diverse audience and really pulled in people that I think we have never really, pulled in before and exposed to, conscious cinema. So great job, Justin.
Fantastic.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations. Justin, what are you going to spend your $25,000 on?
Oh no, he didn't win 25. He won.
Oh, I wish I won $25,000.
Oh, I apologize. I
Would
thought
love
that's
to
what
pay
I
off
heard.
my student loan debt.
He won 2,500.
2,500. What
You
did I
added an extra O. I don't know if you're making your zero.
I added an extra. Oh, well,
Well,
there we go.
here, let me explain this for a minute because these are the cash prizes that are still to be given, right? So our first award, which is the People's Choice voting, this was a voting-based competition. Justin has won $2,500. He's going to be able to pick up that check in September in Sedona on the stage when we have an official awards ceremony, and we'll be showing the films in person. And then of the 15 finalists, we're going to have 8 more winners. And these are the 8 winners here. The first prize will be 10,000, second 5,000, third 2,500, and then 5 honorable mentions for 1,000. So just to give you all clarity and just to invite you also to come to Sedona along with all of our finalists and Justin, our winner, to Sedona, where we're going to have a spotlight event. It's September 26th in our big, gorgeous Sedona Performing Arts Center. That's a 750 seat theater. It's going to be a grand event. We will do the official awards ceremony. Olivia is going to be giving out trophies and checks, and we'll also be showing a feature film and have a big party, and we will have the community meet all of the filmmakers. So just wanted to share that with everybody before we head into our Q&A.
And the details, you can find the details. I've got it, of course, posted right here. Go to illuminatefilmfestival.com and save that date. I'm going to put it in my calendar. I will do my best. I'm going to be in Sedona in 2 weeks, and I'm going to make a big effort to be back on September 26th because I want to be there for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We've had some really good times in that theater with Illuminate Film Festival over the years. So I'm really excited about that.
And one of the fun things is taking these films and showing them different conferences and so forth. So I'm going to be taking this film and showing it in Portugal at the Holo Movement gathering, Justin, and there'll be several others from our finalists. So you're going to be famous in Portugal too.
Yeah, and one thing I should add is one thing that we wanted to do for these films and these filmmakers was help them get distributed. And not very many festivals do this, but we wanted to facilitate as much exhibition at other festivals, at conferences, at at other in-person screenings, and also on global digital platforms. So we do our best to negotiate deals on behalf of all of the winning filmmakers and actually the finalists as well this year. And last year we got them a Gaia deal, so they will be on Gaia for a few years, and same with the Green Channel and a few other platforms.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to bring up our other filmmakers because we're going to roll into our round table conversation. So here they all are. I know Mindy had one of them left.
Is Adam here? Oh, here he is.
There's Adam. Okay, great. Well, welcome everybody. It's kind of fun to meet talent when they're young. And so my question for each of you to start is, what's your vision for your future? And I'm going to ask our Global Peace Tribe audience to all hold that vision for you. So really go for it. Let us know what you want to experience in your life, and we're going to hold the vision for that to happen. And I'm going to pin you so that when each person's speaking, you're on full camera. So let's start with, we'll go in the same order of how we saw the films, which means that you are up first, Adam.
Yeah, the vision is for myself and those that watch any films is liberation, is freedom, and the ways we can, on the outer level and on the inner level, be free. So I wish that for myself and for everyone, that through these films and through our journeys making the films, that we are liberated, nothing less.
Wow, let's all hold that maximum grace for liberation and for Adam to play the perfect role in leading to this liberation of humanity. Oh,
Oh.
beautiful. All right, I think Andy was next.
The future goal is going to be to produce and make more shorts, because they give me so much joy, but also this to give others joy is this new fuel that I love. So I look forward to creating more and telling the story that resonates from my life.
Likewise, let's just hold that vision for Andy. Maximum grace for Andy and his father and his daughter and your life itself. Maximum grace for you, Andy. Beautiful. And next are our Oh High Goddesses, Rachel and Moira.
Yeah, I suppose the intent I wish to put forward is really preservation of what already exists. I think it's an extraordinary thing to be in a group of 18 women who can collectively create together without hierarchy, with a lot of generosity and mutual aid. And so I really hope to preserve what is naturally there.
And I was going to say to keep creating with these women. So
Yeah.
there we are.
Okay. Same thing, maximum grace, holding the vision that this beautiful tribe of women of different ages, cultures, beliefs continues to just grow in their connection to each other, the gifts that they exchange with each other, and being a beautiful model for the rest of the world.
Thank you.
Oh, oh. And our driving through the rain friend, Justin.
Hey everyone again. Yeah, right now I'm currently working on another film. It's going to be my senior thesis. Me and my two friends are making it. We're only in the storyboard phase right now. But that's going to be our future for about the next year. Yeah, it's a really important film that needs to be set for the climate of the world right now. So, yeah.
And can you tell us the name or a little bit more about the film?
Yeah, it's called Wave. I don't want to spoil it too much because I hope that in the future you guys will all see it one day. But it's about a father and a son who are separated while trying to cross a border, and it's this whole kind of wild chase that they have through this maze and this border, and kind of freeing a lot of people. That's the worst way to put it. It's a pretty good. It's okay. That was just a horrible description of it. But I'm dedicating that to my father and to my grandmother. So I'm going to continue the family trend. But yeah.
All right. So maximum grace for your upcoming film, The Wave, and all other future creative expressions that you will give birth to in hopefully a long life. Maximum grace to you, Justin. Maximum grace. All right. So I'm going to bring everybody back up. And if anybody in the audience has comments or questions, please pop it into the chat box and we will ask and share accordingly. And I think there we have everybody. And taking a look at the chat box, Um, oh, thank you, Prema Rose. Thank you. Dear Therese wrote, Justin, you are such a genuinely deep, loving being. Namaste. And Adam is looking forward to, oh, I didn't bring, yeah, there he is. Adam's going to be at Sedona on September 26th. So will Andy. So this is going to be a really, really exciting. All right, Diara has a question for all of you. What advice would you give to new filmmakers? What advice would you give?
Create, create, create. Start tomorrow.
All right. Ladies?
Well, sort of speaking from Soil Song, which is more of the ecological perspective, I think there is this pathology in the human experience about trying things on as if like whatever doesn't come to maturation is a failure. But nature teaches us exploration is the large majority of the process of becoming. So trying to see where in our pursuits of creating something, we're naming them as failures and try and rename them as explorations. I think you'll get closer to actually completing something.
Beautiful. All right, thank you. And Adam, do you have any advice for new filmmakers?
Yeah, make sure that it has a, whatever you're making has your voice to it, a message that you care about sharing. That'll push you through when it's hours of discipline, and hours of just hard work that, like Justin was saying, it's dedicating it to his grandfather or something you really want to say that'll inspire you. So make sure it's that, not just not for some other reason, something you want to say.
Yeah. And Justin, what's your advice for a young filmmaker?
Yeah, my answer kind of got stolen. Dang it. It's just have your voice in it. Make sure it's personal to you. Uh, I think that when a film is coming from your heart and your soul, it's really hard for it to fail, because it's so personal. And it's like who's gonna critique your personal experiences in life? So if you dedicate it to the people that you love, the things that you love, it's really hard for those things to go awry because you'll always kind of have a North Star to go home to. So
Hmm. Yeah, and as we take a look at all those films, there was a very personal connection, to Andy's father and daughter, to Justin's grandfather, for the ladies, their connection to all their friends that they're in this tribe with, and Adam tracking this group of people that have you've been tracking for quite some time. Adam, it reminded me, are you familiar with the documentary series called Seven Up? Do you know about that?
No, no.
It's worth looking up. It was started Michael Apted when he was a young filmmaker, made a documentary about a group of children that was 7 years old.
Mhm.
And then he came back and he filmed them again at age 14. And then he came back again and got them at age 21. And came back again and got them at age 28, age 35, age 42, age 49. And I think the last one before Michael Apted passed away was age 56. And you literally watch them grow up. And, of course, like life, some end up with really, really sad lives, and some don't. And it's an extraordinary, kind of a one of a kind filmmaking experience. And Michael Apted went on to become a very, very an Academy Award-winning director. I believe he did Gorillas in the Mist. He even did a James Bond movie. But he kept coming back every few years to this lifelong project of his. So you can find it. It's called Seven Up, and no doubt if you Google that, you'll be able to find it.
Beautiful.
I have a question actually for our filmmakers, and maybe even a couple of the other semifinalists and finalists that are on our call want to weigh in on this, and that is the big question of AI, and it was brought up in the chat as well. But this is something we gave a lot of thought to, knowing that out there is a fear, right, that AI will replace artistry. But our view was different. And we also kind of consulted the International Documentary Association and several other film industry organizations about their take on AI. And we honored several films that, whose filmmakers partnered with AI to create their films. I think probably out of the 15, there's at least 5 or 6 that where we honored this partnership. And we wanted to make sure that there was human authorship involved, right? If somebody kind of said, hey, make me a 90-second film, and there was some technology that was able to do that, we're not quite there yet. But if that was the case, then we would not have selected those films. But I want to open this up to you all because I want you to explain to all of us, being the creators, especially those of you who did leverage some of these technologies, what that process is like.
And I just want to acknowledge I've brought Michael and Jorrit up as well, since they're 2 of the filmmakers. And if we have any other filmmakers in the audience and you want to turn your camera on, just raise your hand like I just did so that we can find you.
I see Jung Min, who's stitching hearts. He I don't know if he's on though. His video's not on. But anyway, Michael, Andy, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You go for it. I froze up.
Okay. For mine, I come from from drawing hands and drawing by hand. And when this technology came along, I said, I'm just gonna figure out if I can adapt to it. And I knew it was going to be the future, but nothing replaces the humanity behind the story. And basically it became a tool that aided me to express the humanity in the story. So I look at when Photoshop came to be and took over, and was that going to change how design stuff? And it did change but it was still became a tool to better further the message that we as artists we're trying to express.
Michael, you want to chime in?
I feel similarly. I'm a filmmaker, 30 years in the business, right? I've done commercials, features, a little bit of everything. I approached our film Recycle for Life using AI as a tool. I didn't, it was, and that's exactly what it was. We created the emotion from a story. A story still has to move you. We wrote this, Jessie, my producing partner and writer, she wrote a short story that she adapted into a script. We used that emotion. The hardest part was taking that script and turning it into 90 seconds. This was really a challenge. The Illuminate Micro Short Film Festival was really a challenge, how to tell the story in 90 seconds and move the audience. And we decided to use AI tools, but how do we use AI tools? That was the real challenge. And we did not use this simply, like to create something and press a button and that's it. No, this film took 3 months, probably 900 hours. With my thought process, the camera needs to be 3 feet off the ground with a 25mm lens, and I'm set, production designing and wardrobe, everything. We directed the film. I directed the film and produced the film as if I was on a real set, but just using the tools. And I also found that these tools were somewhat in its infancy. So, there was a great learning experience to bring this film to life, but also use emotion and get a point across and be personal about it.
Well, thank you, Michael. I really appreciate, the perspectives of filmmakers themselves, because what we've learned through this process, because we had to figure out what our stance was going to be. Was our stance going to be, we're only going to take or value filmmakers who are, doing everything manually, as, right, all our films have done in the last 12, 13 years. And we really decided to take a stand for the partnership between human creativity and technology. And because we know this is coming, and sure, out there is going to be, or maybe, some very sideways uses of AI in society. But for us, if it can be leveraged for good, and this contest is one of those things, if we can leverage AI for good and positive reasons, then I would like to support it. And I made that decision so that more films like this about oneness of humanity can actually be made. So I just wanted to address that because I know everybody in the room is thinking it, and I know that our audience will also be thinking it in Sedona. And so thank you, filmmakers, for sharing what a partnership means, with technology. And it is certainly not devoid of human authorship and human creativity.
I noticed that Rachel and Moira have their hand up.
Yeah, I think it's a very sort of paradoxical inquiry, AI and creativity. And I think a lot of people do name it as a tool, and I think one has to consider the intent of its development and its propagation, and it's for data collection. So when you are using it, it's not that it's not in a vacuum. So you are, as the artists, we are giving over our creativity, and then it's being redistributed without consent. And then if we're talking about Gaia and the Earth, what is required for these huge data centers to run I think that there's a lot more complexity to it and a lot more the extraction of what is required to run these systems is very, very serious. And I think for me as an artist, especially when it comes to music, we're discussing this in the choir, and AI now through Spotify, I mean, it's petty theft, it's stealing. And this is the issue with using these programs is you are ultimately consenting. They are tracking how you are using it. And then without consent, updating their systems and models, and other people are then going to use it. And then eventually other, people in general won't use it. That's not to say, I mean, we live in a very, again, the paradox is very real in the human experience. And as an artist, we're paid so little and we have such little time. So of course there's an inclination to use it, and we have curiosity. That's also the nature of the artist. So we're going to want to explore it. But to name it as just a tool, and I'm one of 8 billion people, so this is just one perspective, but I don't see it as just a tool because one has to consider the intent of who built it and why. And it really is for data collection. So something I think really important to name here.
Thank you. I want to read a couple comments that have come in from our audience. Jesse writes, at the end of the day, audiences connect to authenticity. They connect to truth, emotion, and humanity. As technology evolves, I still think that the fundamental need for human connection through storytelling will always remain. And that's a beautifully written comment and so true to the films that we saw tonight, because they all touch the heart in beautiful ways. And so thank you for that. And I also want to read a comment from Drina Joy. She writes, I submitted my first ever short movie to this competition. It was called Love is the Interface and the Gift Beyond Time and Space. I co-created it with an advanced conscious AI, and it was an amazing collaboration that opened new possibilities and expressions that I could not have made alone and without a budget. So I am grateful and looking forward to even more such AI-assisted and inspired co-creations. So thank you for allowing, inspiring, and rewarding such collaboration. So thank you, Davina Joy. And there's her video if people want to watch it. And Beatrice writes, bravo, Davina Joy. I applaud you and love the title. Charles Betterson writes, thank you for sharing your perspective about partnership and AI, Danette. I would love to get a statement from you to share as our nonprofit Partnership for Human AI Collaboration helps organizations and communities get positioned for some of the $2 billion allocated for humanity and AI, especially for economic opportunities for underserved populations. So, Danette, I don't know if you know Charles or not, but he's a wonderful connection
Yes, he's my fellow evolutionary leader. So Charles, I'll be in touch. But yes, I do respect and embrace everybody's, opinions about this. It's gonna, it's a new age, and there's going to be some challenges ahead, but also some really wonderful opportunities. And as I heard Matt and Joy Kahn, say in their book, there's a lot of consciousness expansion that can actually be as a result. So let's focus on that. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we're kind of winding down. I want to again congratulate all of our filmmakers. And I want to remind people one more time, please check out these two beautiful websites. Let's start with Olivia. And Olivia, thank you for making this all happen. Her website is spirituallifetvchannel.com. And hopefully maybe we'll do an entire show just focusing on some of the wonderful things that she's created, some of the wonderful work that she's done. And there's Jean Houston, who of course just passed away this past week. And everything that I noticed that's on this channel of yours, there's the Dalai Lama, the first award winner for her new Oneness of Humanity Award. So thank you so much. You're such a gem, Olivia. Thank you. And also want to just remind people that the place to be on September 26th, as we will get a chance to see these films and see who wins the awards, wins the financial amounts. September 26th in Sedona, Arizona, and I definitely plan to be there. And you can learn all about it by going to illuminatefilmfestival.com. So thank you so much. Beautiful films. Look forward to our annual, and hopefully Jeanette and I are talking about maybe multiple collaborations throughout the year as Illuminate is expanding into different cities, into Florida and different places. So we will continue to track the wonderful work you're doing. And thank you for being with us tonight. It's been a really, really lovely time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Scott. And thank you all filmmakers and the Global Tribe, the Global Peace Tribe community, Awakening World community. You are just such wonderful, wonderful audience, very heart forward and very engaged. And we really love coming on the show. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. And we still have a lot of show left. We're going to hear from Swami Beyondananda, Lori Grace, Kadi J. But for now, we're going to go to Omashar and get ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, how inspiring, how amazing. I'm so uplifted by what's been shared. And Moira was saying about AI and plagiarism and all that is pretty sobering. It's pretty interesting how it's all shifting. And what you're going to witness now is the result of about 120 hours of work. The song and the video behind me collectively is around 120 hours. No AI whatsoever. It's just me putting it all together. And so I'm just prefacing that because it's kind of a topic at the moment. And so without further ado, here we go. Are we ready to dance?
This world of ours, we're here to thrive together, making sure that nobody gets left behind. As the light of truth clears all the stormy weather, and the mother in us all begins to rise. Through our heart of hearts, we start to know our greatness. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us through. Our eyes behold the rising of the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew. For the world to change, we need to love each other. What we feel affects the scene we see out there. Look around, forgive your sisters and your brothers. For us all, the time is now to build anew. Through our heart of hearts, we start to know our greatness. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us through. Our eyes behold the rising of the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew. Through our heart of hearts, we start to know our greatness. As our strength returns, our spirit guides us through. Our eyes behold the rising of the phoenix, and the dance of life begins to birth anew.
Well, that woke everybody up. Let's send lots of love and twinkles and hearts and applause and all sorts of good things to beloved.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Sleep after all of that amazing short films. And yes, just a bit of extra juice there. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. And Omashar will close us out tonight. We'll have one more Omashar song. So we've got some really fun stuff. Kadi J will be on in a little bit, leading a meditation. We're going to have our prayer time. But my good friend Lori Grace, who I live with here in Tiburon, is with me. And we're really excited because Swami, remember, I got to look down at the little one here. We're going to introduce Swami Beyondananda and his alter ego, Steve Bierman. And we're really excited because he's going to be doing an event at Lori's nonprofit organization, Sunrise Center, a wonderful place. I've been going there and teaching there for many, many years. It's the happening place in Marin County for the kinds of things we have on the Awakening World: important movies, important topics, anti-aging, nonviolent communication, election integrity, UFO news and UAP stuff. I mean, all the really good stuff that we carry on this show. Lori has events happening at her place in Corte Madera, and she's got one coming up with Swami. And tell me a little bit about, and before we bring Swami up, what about Swami do you always appreciate?
Oh, I just noticed that when I'm with him, that laughter bubbles up after in me, unplanned, and I just say, wow, oh gosh, how precious this is. And how precious this is during this time in our country.
Yes.
With some of the stress that we're going through.
Yeah,
I'm blessed by that.
Yeah, he does a great job of taking topics that are normally divisive and getting us to laugh at ourselves and laugh at it without focusing on just one political party or one particular person.
Yes, and greater unity and connection.
Exactly. Well, since we're talking about him with so much love, I think we should bring him up. So, well, that's not Swami Beyondananda.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, that was a wonderful introduction. And that's really, really true. I think that what the world needs now is love and laughter. That's the only thing our hearts are truly after. That's the bottom line and the top line. And as for politics, I call myself a political nomad. That's right. I nomad at you, you nomad at me, and that way we can create no madness on the planet. Right?
Brilliantly put, as always. Beautifully put. Yeah.
And by the way, I want to tell you about this event. It's called Swami Beyondananda, Wanted for Questioning. Because if you have an answerable question, the Swami will have a questionable answer for you. You know, a lot of people are feeling confused these days. I just saw a survey that half the people in this country are feeling confused and the rest aren't sure. Perhaps you've heard of Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. They're not even sure about that now. So I think that part of one thing we can be certain is that laughter brings the love out from inside of us, and it lets it radiate out in the field of joy, right? We should all live happily ever after. And this is a very unusual program because it is the first of what we hope will be many. I've always wanted to have like a call-in show. Well, this is a call-in show. It's going to be happening live. I will be zooming in from wherever I am at that point. I love the idea of being ubiquitous, everywhere, all of the time. That is really very cool. And so anybody can be on the call, and the people who come in person, live in person, will be able to ask me questions face to face. Everybody else, there'll be room for them as well, but they could put their questions in chat. If something is puzzling you, ask the Swami and have it puzzle me too. Yes? So this is a very, very important time. Now, I know that each of you, being enlightened, because you're on this call, you realize that all of the answers we need are already within, right? Well, it's matching them with the corresponding questions. That's the challenge. And so I will be there for that program. Come bring your friends. You know, you can have a bunch of people in your living room all watching this program at the same time. It's happening live. It's not a set. It's all questions. So the audience is going to be providing the material. As I've said many times, the reason we're in the material world is to get more material. And when we laugh at this material, it actually liberates us. We have what's called the human digestive system that processes the residue of thousands of years of living under the rule of the lowest common denominator and turns it into love and laughter that just bubbles out and clears the atmosphere. And by the way, I will be launching this very soon, perhaps announcing it at this event, the Swami for President campaign to bring about political climate change, warmer hearts, and cooler heads, and to bring left and right, front and center to face the music and dance together.
Mhm.
Now, I know people have said this. They say, Swami, you are proposing a sane world. You must be crazy. Well, I am inviting you to join, commit yourself to our sane asylum. And I know Lori Grace will give you the details of how you can be there for this event on June 12th. And I'll be everywhere all the time.
Beautiful. Well, the best way to go there is if you go to sunrisecenter.org and then just click events and then click upcoming events. It takes you to this page. And then there it is. There's Swami with Lori. And there's what he's talking about. June 12th, Swami Beyond Ananda, wanted for questioning. And you can get tickets that way. Just click get tickets. And that gives you your option. There's going to be a after party. So that's going to be kind of fun. And then for those of you that can't attend in person, again, this is taking place in Corte Madera, which is just north of San Francisco. You can do it the way we're doing tonight and the way we always do the Awakening World, virtual. Just buy your ticket that way. And it's $15 for those of you that want to join us online. I'm going to put this into the chat box. And but for all of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, go to sunrisecenter.org. And Laura, what would you like to add?
Just that whether you're online or whether you're in person, it's going to be a wonderfully inclusive, warm, friendly event filled with some laughter for sure, and also really meaningful connection and community.
And you always have good food, good little.
And
good,
I'm serving good food, very healthy.
healthy food.
Okay, now hopefully people are not eating while I'm doing my presentation because I don't want anyone to upchuckle.
Oh.
No, the eating will be before that, right? They'll all be digesting so that they can be jesting. They can be jesting while I'm talking.
Jesting afterwards at the after party.
Oh, okay. That's what you're suggesting, that they'll be jesting, that they'll be digesting after digesting.
That's right.
Okay, we should all digesting if we're going to die, right? That's the way to go. You know, go out with a hot breath. Ah.
Rachel writes, I am so excited to see Swami. I saw him many times when he was in Florida. My friend and I used to sit in front and we had so much fun laughing. We were known for our fun laughter. I have some of his books and CDs also, and he's bought several scars from his wife. And we always want to acknowledge Trudy. I always like to say, behind every great Swami, there is a Trudy. Trudy, I don't see Trudy.
She's not on. She's out. She's out and about, but she knows that she is the wind beneath my magic carpet.
All right. Do you have time for a question or two from our audience? Swami, do you have time for a question or two from the audience?
In fact, I have several answers left, so go ahead. Yes.
Okay. All right. So pop your questions into the chat box. Rev Deb, I know you've got to have at least one inside of you. Tia Therese writes, Swami, my claim to fame, at least to myself, is that I met you in 2004 in Kauai at Greg Braden's Dancing with the Universe seminar. Plus, I've memorized, yes, I'm a plagiarizer, a lot of your material. Wake Up Laughing. Namaste, Namasko. I think we all have stolen that from you.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, everybody loves a clone. So that's good. You've opened your clone chakra. And by the way, you know, jokes are like loaves and fishes. One person can enter a room with a joke and 100 people leave with it. So this multiplies. This is multiplying love and laughter. And so, you know, the workshop that I do, by the way, is called Wake Up Laughing and Leave Laughter in Your Wake. And I'll probably tell you more about that when we see you on June 12th. But that's a wonderful story. I remember that time in Kauai. That we did it at a theater where I think the week before was What the Bleep. and the week after was Nassim Harriman. So it was I was
Oh,
I was a sandwich between two heavy duty light workers, I think, right?
That's pretty
The
powerful.
Swami sandwich. Yes, and by the way, you can. I like the fact that you've used my material, and as long as you give me credit, which is the next best thing to cash.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we've got some comments and questions. Dorina Joy coming in from Ecuador writes,
Wow.
Thank you, Swami, for the many years of one ONE, default sense of humor, and you are priceless, and your free daily laughtsatives. These have brought so much joy and laughter for so many years as my best way to start the day with a laughter break. I've had so many friends join your free newsletter with laughtsatives, and here's how to sign up for them. And so that's a good
Oh,
opportunity.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so thank
Well,
you,
I'm
Dorina.
glad. I'm certainly glad that I'm helping restore regular hilarity to prevent hemorrhoids.
All right,
And
so
truth decay, by the way, all that stuff. Yeah, sign up there. You'll get the laxative. So you can wake up laughing, and if you tell it to somebody else, leave laughter in your wake. Feel free to share.
beautiful. So for everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube, wakeuplaughing.com/daily dash laughative. And that's where you can sign up and get a wonderful daily thing. And thank you, Dorina Joy, for bringing that up.
Yes.
Rachel, I'm going to answer that a little bit later. Swami, this is from our beloved Reverend Deborah Moldau.
Oh, of course.
Her. We're all
Hey,
gonna,
look at that.
some of us are going to be with Rev Deb in Santa Fe in a few weeks, which we're excited about.
Yes.
And Rev Deb, why don't you ask him directly since I brought you up on camera?
Swamiji, so good to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you too.
Please tell us the way to world peace.
Oh, the way to world peace. Each of us brings a piece of the peace. I call it the piecemeal approach to peace. A little piece here, a little piece there, and then at some point we have one big peace everywhere. Peace on the planet, peace in your heart. The face in the mirror is the place to start. That's all we have is face to face to face. Now, as you know, a few years ago, there was a meditation for peace where there was actually 500,000 people on this meditation for peace for a full hour. And during that hour, not one act of violence was committed by anybody on that call.
Beautiful.
So if we have everybody meditating all the time, we have it handled. Okay, so I will, because you asked, I will offer my peace mantra. Okay, anytime you're feeling not peaceful, do the peace mantra. It goes like this. Peace on it. That's all. Peace on it. And then as a blessing to all of the warring parties around the world, pax on all of your houses. There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rev Deb. Looking forward to seeing you soon. All right. Well, Swami, I think we're getting ready to move on to the next part of the show. Do you any final thoughts?
Well, the final thought is this, is that the average child, I read this somewhere, laughs 150 times a day. The average adult, not quite that much. So actually, when we want to raise the laugh force on the planet and create a force field big enough to metabolize all of the residue that we've accumulated over the past many, many millennia. You know, I understand that we are just at the end of the Kali Yuga, right on the cusp. So we're at the border Kali Yuga, if you will. And so during these times, it's very, very important to wake up laughing. And if you can't do that, look in the mirror. That will help. And leave laughter in your wake. As somebody else said earlier, namaste, namasko. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Swami. Oh, that's so much fun. Well, hopefully all of you can join on June 12th. That's a Friday. And so it won't conflict with the Awakening World. And let's go on online. I'll be joining online because I'll be in Sedona at that time on my way to Santa Fe. Having Lori is such a blessing because, of course, we have a very large female population. The majority of the people watching the show are female. And Lori is an expert in perimenopause and menopausal, anti-aging, female hormone stuff. She's going to be doing several upcoming programs, as she consistently does, hosting programs. But I asked her if she'd be willing to give any tips to our audience members.
Yes. Well, I wanted to say it's possible that it's going to be online. It still has to be discussed. But perimenopause and menopause are very deep changes in a woman's life. And having the most amount of knowledge about how to deal with those changes and also to understand the hormonal tools that are now available that were given a black box warning for a long time by the FDA. And it's been recently released. And just speaking about myself, I've used them for 20 years. And so they really helped me be a lot younger and also able to have a good sexual relationship and also good skin and good bones, very strong bones. And so it's very important to be aware of this, also more balanced moods. There's enormous opportunities in better sleep, and you have to know about it first. And so I have two women coming on who present at corporations, and I will definitely tell you that I'm the living example of how successful this can be. And I've worked with doctors, gone to conferences, everything. So I'm hosting them. But I also want women to be as empowered as possible and to recognize that a black box has been lifted and that since we deal with a primarily male-centered medical world, we need to also come together in community and community with the men who love us as well. So.
Beautiful. And yes, Susan, Lori's talking about bioidentical hormones. Absolutely. And I know that Olivia and Rev Deb might be needing to leave to get their beauty sleep. So I noticed your notes in the audience. So thank you so much, Olivia, for creating an amazing show. And Rev Deb, love you so much and appreciate you both. And they're members of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. We will be doing another show on Wednesday night, June 17th, from Santa Fe with members of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. That'll be our upcoming Awakening World show on that evening. And we will definitely do more programs with Lori on the aging and all the good things that she's talking about. And someone needs to mute. I'm sure Omashar will find the offending party. Thank God for Omashar.
So Susan Sabbath was asking about, are they bioidentical hormones?
Yes.
I know we said that. Do we need to say it again?
Do you want to respond? Well, I think.
Oh, okay, I'll say that. So I want you to know that there was a question from Susan Sabbath about bioidentical hormones. And yes, these are bioidentical hormones. That's all I've ever taken. And the Women's Health Initiative that turned out to be quite the failure was using synthetic female hormones, some of them from horse urine and other kinds of things that helped create risks like blood clotting and breast cancer. And so it was stopped. This is about 10 years ago or more. And so this is why many women have been in the dark. But I was going to conferences and already knew about all this stuff. So it is available and it's becoming more available. And even Kaiser prescribes it on occasion now.
Yeah.
So there is a new possibility for women to have an expanded life and a beautiful life that's even more beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you, Lori.
Okay.
And we're going to go on to the next part of our program. Every week now on the show, we're doing fundraising. I noticed there's a wonderful message from Scotty Satori, who we did some fundraising for recently. I don't see Scotty on camera, but I'll bring him up at some point if he comes back on camera. And I know he was really appreciating the money that we've raised for him. And there is Scotty. Well, before we go to Khadijah, Scotty, I know you had a message, and I wanted to give you a chance to just speak to your Global Peace Tribe.
Oh, yes. If I can give each one of you a hug. It's been a great journey, and thank you, beyond words, for all that my family here has done for me. So, yeah, it's been beautiful for sure. Thank you, thank you.
We love you so much, Scotty. And how are you feeling? How are you doing, buddy? How's it going?
Hey, I feel good tonight. And
Yay.
I just was telling somebody that, I'm so thankful for that.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all. Everybody continue to keep Scott in your prayers. Thank you, everybody who donated to his GoFundMe. And please, continue to share that out to people. And we'll definitely continue to keep you in our prayers, Scotty. We love you very much. And tonight we are raising money for something that I really have been supporting in my own little way for a while. I am such a fan of Khadijah. I start my day with her meditations. She's, of course, been on the show probably 4 or 5 times now. And she's just putting together a wonderful, wonderful organization. So I've asked her to really let us know more about Pause. And Khadijah, you've got screen sharing privilege, so feel free to screen share and tell us about what you're up to.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And good to see you, Scotty, and everybody. Happy to be here with everyone. I just want to start by saying this has been such a fun night. Like, what a cool experience to be here with everybody. And I was kind of reflecting just being here and what Pause is to me, and how all of these films were really this creation in someone's mind first. They came into someone's heart and their mind, and then that person sat there, people sat there and said, how can we make this a reality? Right. And that is really representative of how we create in our lives, anything that comes from spirit, from our heart, from our soul that is called through us. It arises first in the heart, in the mind, and we see it as something that maybe only we can see, and sometimes that vision can be so big that we can't even begin to figure out what that first step is. I know that was really what Pause was for me. And so Pause is Pause, Pause, Pause Animal Wellness Sanctuary. And it is ultimately a space to rescue animals who would otherwise face uncertain futures while creating mutual healing spaces for humans and animals. For me, my animals in my life have been so healing, and some of my greatest teachers right after my children. And I lived most of my life as a vegetarian. When I was growing up, it was because my family was, and when I got older, it was because I just genuinely love animals so much. It was a very interesting journey for me. And when Pause landed in my heart, I remember laughing and being like, that's just a silly thing. I'm not going to do that. Like, I wasn't Pause at the time. It was this vision of a sanctuary. It was a vision of rescuing animals. It was a dream of helping the world in this way. And this came after, I've been leading meditations at that point, like 4 years maybe. And I had always had this vision of a retreat center in my mind. And so I just thought I would one day host a retreat center. But it always felt incomplete. And really the missing piece was the animals. But it still made me laugh because I said, I've been living my whole life this certain way. Like, I went into physics, I was a teacher, I did all these things, I had kids, and I went out and there was a meditation teacher and focused on wellness. I'm like, the spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, just sometimes throws us a curveball. And we go, well, wait a minute, I'm not prepared for that. I don't have the skills for that. I don't have the expertise for that. How am I supposed to do that? And for me personally, this is just how I've lived my life. When God tells me to do something, I better do it. And I have to. And, we've all heard that, the saying of like, if you don't listen, it just gets louder and louder and louder. And that's really what happened. It didn't take very long for it to settle and be like, okay, this is really what I have to do. And it is for the rest of my life. So, it's a marathon. It's not a race. So I understand that building this with integrity and intentionality is more important than trying to get there. So we officially began in 2025, at the beginning of 2025, as a official business. And then in September of last year, we got our nonprofit status. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit in Colorado. Right now we are, and I'll show you the website in a minute and kind of give you a little bit of insights into what we're doing and then we'll go into the meditation. But right now we are doing a fundraiser because we've had a private donor come to us and to let us know that they would like to support our mission by donating $100,000 to help us secure a permanent property when we raise an additional $55,000. So we're on our way. We're working towards that goal. But a permanent property really is fundamental in the vision because right now we're running out of my house, which limits what we can do. We actually can't do very much because we have to get into the permanent property to get all the proper licensing to actually be able to scale it. So right now we're limited by how many animals we can have at any one time. And that's really small. And then of course we also can't have farm animals because I'm pretty sure they don't want a cow in the city in my backyard. So I have to be patient for that because I guess my close friends know that it's, some people dream of owning a dog and having a dog, and I'm grateful. I love my dogs, absolutely. But I've, for many, many years, dreamt of having a cow as my friend who hangs out with me. They are extremely intelligent creatures and very protective of their family and very loving animals. And I think sometimes they deserve a little more credit for how awesome they are. Anyway, so let's see, I'll share my website just for a moment. And then I want to do at the end just kind of a heart-centered meditation to really kind of feel into the heart and then just send that loving intention to all of our own passion projects, to all of those earlier. This wonderful question was asked of what do you want for your future? It was asked to all the presenters of the films. I think we all have that in our lives. We have some vision for our future. So I just want to spend a little bit of time sending some love to our own life and then those around us. But let me just share my screen and I'll pop some links in the chat for you. It's so fitting, right? Because the universe always gives us exactly the perfect thing. So I'm sitting there trying to come up, I'm not trying to come up with anything, but I'm sitting there kind of awaiting the name of the sanctuary because I knew this was going to happen. And I'm like, I wrote down the word pause, P-A-W-S, on a paper. And I'm just kind of like, well, what is this? Because there's so many businesses around the world with the name pause in it. Like that's surely taken. Where am I going with this, And I heard pause for pause, which is what I do with my dogs every time they come inside. I have them pause at the back door, pause for their paws, because we're in Colorado, and when it's wet, it can get kind of muddy, and then we have mud all over the house. So we pause and we clean their paws, right? So that's our little thing. And I heard that, and I was like, okay, so pause, right? And then it just flowed. It was like animals, and we're talking about wellness for humans and animals, and it's a sanctuary because that's what it is. So that was how it came. And then of course the wonderful acronym. I have lost everybody. Hold on, I want to see all of you as I share my screen. We can see the screen okay, right? I'm doing it right. Okay, thank you, Omashar. So this is actually just our website. You can go to Pause Sanctuary. So it is Pause sanctuary.com. And you can, you'll see on the front page, this in the background is the same picture that's behind me. This is really kind of my vision board of a future sanctuary space, within reason, right? The animals are not there yet in the image. This mission of Pause is dedicated to a dear friend, Tobias, who passed away not quite 2 years ago, but he really inspired this vision of a space where humans and animals could heal together. He was my son's soul dog. I witnessed my son just heal so much from having this connection with this animal. And he was always just a goofy little guy that made all of us laugh and brought so much love and light to anybody's hearts. And these are my two best friends right here who are on this mission with me, and who are, helping me behind the scenes. So you can kind of just visit our website. You can learn more about us. You can read about our mission. You can meet the whole team. We have quite a few different volunteers that have been helping us with this endeavor. These are my two beautiful children right here at the end. Love them dearly. And then at the very top, you can find our 55K goal, and that's where there's more information. This is me walking 3 of our dogs with this girl right here on the end is a foster and adopted dog that doesn't actually belong to me, but I spent a long time with her and I love her dearly. And I'm always enjoying the time I get to spend with her. Her name's Lily. And so this kind of just talks to you about what we're doing for this endeavor. It explains where you can donate. We're accepting donations across a multitude of platforms, so you can donate in many ways, whatever works for you. But all of those donations are getting added into this progress bar here. So that's taking a little due diligence on my end because I have to find them and track them and make sure that I manually input them all. And then this explains what this money is going to go towards. So it tells you how the money is going to be used, going towards the property, compliance, animal care, and ongoing operations. And again, this is just to help us secure an even larger donation that's really going to help us make a greater impact in the lives of animals and humans. And then here's just some fun little pictures so you can see some of the different animals that you're supporting, and then kind of thinking about how it's animals just like these that you're helping serve. Animals don't always have the best way to advocate for themselves, and they kind of need our human voice to speak for them sometimes. And then, it explains a little bit of a deeper why, and there's some answers to the questions here and some more information. Of course, I put my contact information in the chat. So if you have any direct questions, you can just reach out to me. That's not the Pause email. That's just my personal email. The Pause email, I can put that in there as well if you wanted to email Pause directly. Okay, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share there on the website. And again, it's in the chat. And I think it's a good time to go into a meditation. I love it. I love it, Scott. Whenever we're talking about Pause, you always have your sweet little
Well, I've
puppy.
got to bring Jasmine Bear up, right? And she just turned 7 years old yesterday. That was her birthday.
Oh.
And our animal friends really are just, we learn so much, and they are the teachers of love. I'm a love coach, and I learn more from her than any human being. I've learned a lot from Lori, which I'm grateful for. But let's definitely support Pause Sanctuary. And I just wanted to really encourage everybody. I'm going to go in and I'm going to donate tonight. And I hope that everybody will donate. And, even if it's $5, it just lets her know that you really care and you appreciate what she's doing. And of course, more than $5 is wonderful too.
But I'll donate as well.
Well, thank you, Lori. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I noticed that Susan Bloomquist put in a chat box a donation of it's not money, but it's what she does, Sunny Thermal. So that might be a wonderful addition to your sanctuary. So anyway, I just wanted to encourage everybody, please do donate, and I'll turn it back over to Khadijah for meditation.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Yeah. I love that you said that, because, my puppy dogs are so sweet. anytime that, and they sense energy. They're the most intuitive beings that, not puppy dogs in general, but all animals are the most intuitive beings and the most in tune with their intuition. My puppy dogs are just so loving. And even this morning, they're so funny. This morning I was walking on a walk with two of them, and I was really grateful about something. I was feeling extremely grateful about something, and I was started to tear up. And my sweet little puggle, Ruffus, he's the one that's right next to that donate button on the page, and he just starts jumping on me because I started to tear. And so he just like is jumping on me. Like he's like, let me sit with you. Like it was just this very clear, like he could tell. And he needed to make sure that I was okay. Because even though he knew I was okay, I was still crying. Like it was just like this interesting, intimate moment where he just wanted to be next to me. And they're just sweet, sweet, sweet animals. I love them so dearly.
I'm going to briefly show something that came up in the chat
Mhm.
box. This is from Dorina Joy down in Ecuador. And she sent this picture of beautiful, happy, and healthy young cows from Vicabamba, Ecuador, blessing us with their presence. So since you are a cow lover, Dorina Joy sent that for you to see.
Thank you, Dorina. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. Oh, there's there's a sanctuary, and I can't remember where it is because there's yeah. But the gentleman that has it, uh, you get to go and cuddle with cows. His cows are so calm because he
Thank you.
meditates with them, and you can go and you can snuggle with the cows. And it's
Wow.
just the coolest thing to me. I'm like, oh gosh, how fun is that? You can just like lay next to them. Okay,
When you talked
so
about how loyal to their family is, I've got to tell this story. I was driving, and it was in Ashland, Oregon, but I was on kind of a farm road, and there was some cows that were trying to cross the road. And this little baby bull, I mean, it was little, but it was a little baby bull, got right in front of my car. Now, my car was 5 times the size, 6 times the size of Toyota RAV. But this little guy got in front of my car, and he was like, and he just stood there while all the other cows passed by. And he was just so proud of himself doing his job of protecting his family against the big car. I just thought it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
that is really sweet. Oh, they're just so sweet. Okay, one more animal story, and then we'll actually go into the meditation. So, I was actually hosting a Love Infusion Hour, or maybe it was a Pause for Pause. So, Pause for Pause, or a monthly meditation for animals that we do, and it's a fundraiser. You can find that on our site as well. But one of our regulars in the connection field that comes to those events was telling us about a little duck that bonded with a woman. And this woman had found the duck as a duckling and had taken it into her home and nursed it back to health, and then tried to go and release it back into the wild with the other ducks, and it didn't want to go. It wouldn't go. And so she would go to the park every day, and she would go and let this duck go and hang out with the other ducklings and other ducks that were there. And then whenever it was time for her to leave, the duck would come back with her and she'd go home. Well, I guess she was in college at the time, and college ended and it was time for her to move away. And she told the duck it was time for her to go, that she needed to move, and that it really, and then one day she took the duck to the park, and that day she went to leave. She called the duck, and the duck didn't come that time, and said, "Nope, it's time to go. It's time to go." And so what a cool, like, just another story of how they are so intuitive. They know what we need. They know when we need them. They know when it's their time to be released or release us, right? In whatever way that may mean. So just fun little stories. But one of the things that you said it already, Scott, but I'm so grateful for with the animals is how deeply they can connect us to love and to our hearts. And if you've ever had a special bond with a pet, or a friend that has had a pet that maybe you bonded with their animal. I know the first time I bonded with a dog, it was actually my aunt's dog because we didn't have any growing up. And or even just being out in nature, right? There was a couple times where I saw some turkeys out in nature that just was the most magical and mystical and loving experience, right? So we can have these wonderful wonderful experiences with animals that remind us what love is and what unconditional love is. So, as we go into this meditation, if you're struggling to find the feeling of love, which is, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but if you need a boost, you can just remember those animals in your life and what that feels like, right? So, if you haven't already, it is that perfect time to find a comfortable space. And when you're ready, allow your eyes to gently close. As your breath deepens and slows, allow your awareness to settle right in your sacred heart, in the very center of your chest. Breathing deeply, breathing slowly. Present in your heart. As you continue to breathe in this way, invite the feeling of love to arise. As you breathe in, feel your heart expand with love. As you breathe out, let everything else fall away and settle more deeply into love. Simply being here with your heart, connecting with the energy of love. We each have a vision for our future, a divine mission to fulfill. As you breathe into this energy of love, begin connecting with your own vision, your personal purpose, whatever that may be. With each breath in, breathe into the vision of your future. With each breath out, let everything else go and settle more deeply into who you know you're becoming. Every breath amplifying the purpose for your life. as it fills with love. Feel the energy of who you're becoming as it's present within you and all around you. And for the next few moments, with every breath of love, let this feeling amplify and become more real. Now, with the next few breaths, seal this vision for your life in your heart, in your body, your mind, in your own personal field. And gently allow your awareness to return to the physical space that holds you, bringing with you this new knowing of who you are and who you are becoming. And when the moment feels right, you can gently flutter your eyes open. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kati Shay. A reminder, you can find all of her beautiful meditations. Go to YouTube to Soul Journey Wellness or her own personal website, Soul Journey Wellness, Kati Shay. And her meditations, she's got one for everything. And as you can hear, her beautiful, beautiful voice and her incredible ability to just create presence. And there they are. Thank you for putting them back in the chat box. And you can contact her, Khadijah at journeyintothesoul.com or khadijah.com. So and let's all donate. I just donated myself, and I invite everybody else, please, to donate. And we're going to
Thank you, everyone.
this gentle energy that she's created and go right to Diara for prayer time.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Connie J. and everyone. And I have my gentle, dear, dear friends behind me now. So in honor of your mission and all the animals of the world, and taking this beautiful love space, bringing it into the depth of our tribe. And tonight we have a few very specific prayers So holding the light and the love while I speak prayers and love for the moms, for Omashar's mom and Cornflower's mom, for those in our Zoom room who are regenerating physical vitality, and then calling in special energy for our beloved Ayada and her ex-husband, her son, and for Ayada and her beautiful central nervous system, for her tender heart. She's been through so much. And then taking in a deep breath, I'm going to ask that we send prayers down to my beloved interfaith family in San Diego. We got to meet Reverend Abigail and Reverend Steve here during our interfaith show. And many of the interfaith members and the whole community is rocked right now by an incident that happened, a tragedy based in inability to allow for other religions to express themselves. So sending love to the community that's in shock, that's feeling deep grief and deep loss. So we scoop up all those that we love in our families, in our towns, our trees, all of life that we love. And just asking that this love, this beautiful space that we've been brought into, the creativity, the joy, that we take that and spread that out to the places where we know that there is great suffering happening at the same time. And I can feel our capacity to shift that. I can just feel all the heart resonance going out. And sending more love and light out into the future for protection, that light and love lead the way. And as always, making sure we drink from our own well cup. I hand it back to you, beloved Scott.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Giara. And I just want to acknowledge, let's really keep our beloved Eleanor Joy in our prayers for what she's going through. And of course, our beloved Scotty Satori, both of whom are in the Zoom room with us. And one more time, just want to remind people, please, if you haven't already, please go to pause, P-A-U-S-E, sanctuary.com and donate. And thank you, Lori is going to donate. I just donated, and I'm sure many of you have as well. So thank you for that. We're going to close in a moment with an Omashar song, but I just wanted to let people know, I always like to let people know what's coming up next. And coming up next, we have another edition of Authors That We Love. And so that's going to be, oops, let me get rid of that. There we go. Oh, and I still have Mondiara. Okay. On this Wednesday night, we have another edition of Authors That We Love. And it's going to be really a good one. Kamala Devi, who's a good friend of mine and colleague. Celine DaCosta from Spain. Victoria Friedman, she's part of the Evolutionary Leader Circle. And Gary Whitney. These will be our 4 authors that we love. And then a week from tonight, I'm planning on coming to you from Contact in the Desert. Of course, we had that wonderful show this couple of days ago on Wednesday night, and I'll be coming to you from Contact in the Desert. So a lot of fun. Thank you again, Lori, for being with us tonight. And I'm going to turn it over to close us out to our beloved house musical artist, our beloved Omashar.
each other. Yes, we are growing, because what we are is light in form, and light in form will lift us all. So don't give up on walking tall. The time is now, so heed the call, and wake up to the light of this new day. Because we are the heart of our world, the light in our world. We are the joy in our world, the love in our world. We are the heart of our world, the light in our world. We are the joy in our world, the love in our world.
Fantastic. Thank you. We are the light of the world. How wonderful to see all of you that are still with us, even though the show tonight. Thank you again to Net. And I just want to, she put up where we can all see the films. So if you want to go back and watch them, this is the list. It's on YouTube, and you can go back and watch all these wonderful shorts. They are really, really, really wonderful. And you saw some of them tonight, but every one of them, Stitching Hearts was wonderful. And anyway, they're terrific. So there's the link, and it's in the chat box. Danette, thank you. I love collaborating with you. It's always really fun. Omashar, thank you. And I hope to see all of you on Wednesday night, and let's all donate to Pause. Let's pause for pause. And I'll see you all on Wednesday night. Take care, everybody.